That heavy, foggy feeling that hits around 3 in the afternoon, it's not a personal failure. It's not a sign of weakness or a mandatory toll of getting older. It is a signal. It's an alarm from your body telling you something is out of balance. For years, we've been taught to fight it with another cup of coffee, a sugary snack, or to just push through the exhaustion. These are like taking out high-interest loans against tomorrow's energy. They offer a temporary fix, but leave us more depleted in the long run. There is a wiser way. Think of your energy like a bank account. Throughout the day, you make deposits and you make withdrawals. That afternoon slump is simply your body telling you that you've gone into overdraft. The true path to reclaiming your afternoons isn't about fighting the slump. It's about preventing the overdraft in the first place. It's about becoming a skilled manager of your own vitality. This process we're about to walk through is empowering because it shifts you from being a victim of fatigue to being the architect of your energy. This is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned. The beauty of this audit is its simplicity. It requires no expensive supplements or complicated routines. It requires only your attention. It asks you to become a curious observer of your own life, to notice the small hinges on which the big doors of your daily energy swing. So, I invite you to find a comfortable place to sit. If you can, grab a piece of paper and a pen. We're going to create a balance sheet together. On one side, we'll list deposits, the actions that add to our energy account. On the other, withdrawals, the habits that drain it. You don't need to write down everything, just the things that make you think, yes, that's me. By the end of this hour, you will hold a personalized map, a clear guide to understanding where your energy goes and how you can bring it back. The goal isn't just to survive the afternoon. The goal is to finish your day with an energy surplus, with enough vitality left over to enjoy your evening, engage with your loved ones, and pursue what brings you joy. So, where does this audit begin? You might be surprised to learn that the biggest withdrawals often happen before you've even had breakfast. Let's audit the first 2 hours of your day. The tone you set in the morning creates ripples that last until bedtime. For many of us, the very first action we take upon waking is a major withdrawal. We reach for our phone. We check the news, scroll through emails, or look at what other people are doing. This harmless-seeming act is an alarm bell for your nervous system. It floods your brain with problems to solve and the subtle stress of comparison. Your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone, in response. This gives you a jolt of false energy, a loan drawn from the reserves you'll desperately need at 3 p.m. You've essentially started your day by spending a quarter of your energy budget on things that don't truly serve you. What is the first energy deposit you can make instead? Try replacing the phone with just 15 minutes of quiet. Give your brain a chance to wake up gently, to come online at its own pace without the world shouting at it. After a night of darkness, your body craves a specific signal to start its engine. That signal is light. One of the most powerful energy deposits costs nothing and takes only 5 minutes: getting morning sunlight. Our bodies run on an internal clock, the circadian rhythm, which controls our energy levels. Morning light is the master switch that sets this clock correctly for the entire day. When light hits special receptors in your eyes, it sends a powerful message to your brain. It's daytime. Be alert. Stop producing the sleep hormone. This simple act helps ensure you feel sleepy at the right time in the evening and more alert during the day. How do you do it? Simply stand by a window while you drink your first glass of water. Step out onto a porch for a few deep breaths. Let the morning light touch your face. You've just told your body, "Good morning. Let's begin," making a significant deposit before the day has truly started. Now, let's examine another common morning withdrawal: rushing. That feeling of being behind schedule from the moment your feet hit the floor creates a low-grade hum of stress. This mental scramble consumes an enormous amount of energy. It's like driving your car with the emergency brake partially engaged. You'll get where you're going, but you'll burn far more fuel than necessary. The antidote to rushing is preparation. The deposit here is made the night before. Spend just 10 minutes before bed setting yourself up for a smoother morning. Lay out your clothes. Prepare the coffee maker. Look at your calendar. Each small decision you make in the evening is one less drain on your mind in the morning. You are creating a buffer of calm. This calm is a direct deposit into your energy account, preserving your mental reserves for the tasks that truly matter. But what about the actual fuel you put in your body? The wrong kind can drain your account faster than almost anything else. Let's audit breakfast. Many of us were taught that a healthy breakfast is cereal, toast, or a muffin. These foods are primarily simple carbohydrates that break down into sugar very quickly. This causes a rapid spike in blood sugar, giving you a quick burst of energy. But it's a trap. Your body releases a flood of the hormone insulin to deal with all that sugar, which often overcorrects, causing your blood sugar to crash an hour or two later. This is that mid-morning slump, where you feel foggy, irritable, and already reaching for another snack. It's a roller coaster that drains your energy with every peak and valley. How do you get off this ride? The deposit that changes everything is the protein anchor. Protein is digested much more slowly, providing a steady, sustained release of energy and keeping your blood sugar stable. Adding a source of protein to your breakfast is like trading a firework for a slow-burning log. What does this look like? It could be a couple of eggs, a bowl of Greek yogurt, or a scoop of nuts and seeds in your oatmeal. This one shift can prevent the morning blood sugar roller coaster, saving you a tremendous amount of energy for the rest of the day. Now for that beloved morning ritual, coffee. There's nothing inherently wrong with coffee, but when we drink it makes a huge difference. Drinking coffee on a completely empty stomach is a common withdrawal. For some people, this can amplify the release of stress hormones, making you feel jittery and anxious rather than focused. It's like pressing the accelerator all the way to the floor when the engine is still cold. You get a jolt, but it's a harsh one that can lead to a more significant crash later. The simple deposit is to have your coffee with or after your protein-anchored breakfast. The food in your stomach acts as a buffer, slowing the absorption of caffeine for a smoother, more sustained lift. This turns coffee from a high-interest loan into a manageable and enjoyable part of your day. But what about the simplest, most essential deposit of all? After 7 or 8 hours of sleeping, your body is naturally dehydrated. Every cell in your body runs on water, especially to create energy. Even mild dehydration can manifest as fatigue and brain fog. Often, when we feel tired, we mistake thirst for hunger or a need for caffeine, when what our body is truly asking for is water. This is perhaps the easiest deposit you can make all day. Before you have your coffee, before you have your breakfast, drink a glass of water. Room temperature or even warm with a squeeze of lemon is perfect. This simple act rehydrates your system, kickstarts your metabolism, and helps wake up your brain. It's a pure, direct deposit into your physical energy reserves. Let's pause and review our morning audit. On the withdrawal side, we have the phone habit, rushing, high-carb breakfasts, and coffee on an empty stomach. On the deposit side, we have morning sunlight, preparation, a protein-anchored breakfast, and starting the day with water. A morning full of withdrawals means you start the day in energy debt, playing catch-up from the beginning. But a morning of conscious deposits puts you in a state of surplus. You arrive at midday with a full tank, ready for what's next. If this idea of managing your energy like a bank account is already making sense, consider subscribing to Primetime Wisdom. We share practical wisdom like this every week, designed to help you live a richer, more vibrant life. Now, let's move into the battleground where the afternoon slump is truly won or lost.
We now enter the hours between 11 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. The decisions you make here have the most direct impact on how you feel for the rest of the day. Let's start with lunch. The first major withdrawal to audit is the deceptively light lunch. This often takes the form of a large salad with a low-fat dressing or a simple soup. We choose these meals with the best intentions, thinking they will prevent sluggishness. The opposite is often true. A lunch that lacks the two pillars of sustained energy, protein and healthy fats, is an energy withdrawal waiting to happen. Without them, your body burns through a light, carb-heavy lunch too quickly, leading to a blood sugar crash. This is often the primary culprit behind the 3 o'clock slump. Your body is sending a desperate signal for more fuel. The deposit that counters this is building your lunch around the power trio: protein, fiber, and healthy fat. This combination is the key to sustained energy. Protein provides satiety and a slow release of fuel. Fiber, found in vegetables, slows down digestion. Healthy fats from sources like avocado, nuts, and olive oil are incredibly energy-dense and keep you feeling satisfied for hours. What does a power trio lunch look like? It could be that same salad, but now with grilled chicken, a handful of walnuts, and a dressing made with olive oil. It could be a piece of salmon with roasted vegetables. Notice how these meals are substantial. A proper lunch is one of the single largest energy deposits you can make. It's an investment that pays dividends all afternoon. But where you eat your lunch is almost as important as what you eat. The next withdrawal to audit is desktop dining. Eating while continuing to work or read the news is a huge drain on your mental energy. Your brain doesn't get a chance to switch off. It's trying to process work stress while also managing the complex process of digestion. Digestion requires significant energy and blood flow. When your mind is still engaged in work, you create a conflict. You're not truly tasting your food, and your body's rest and digest system never fully activates. This denies you a crucial mental break. The energy deposit here is simple: change your environment. Even for just 15 minutes, step away from your workspace. Eat in another room. Sit on your porch. Give your mind the gift of a genuine pause. This allows your body to focus on digestion and your brain to reset. But what you do after you eat can undo all that good work. Are you making this common mistake? Sitting down right after a meal is a gentle withdrawal from your energy account. When you eat, your blood sugar levels naturally rise. If you are sedentary, your body may release a larger amount of insulin to shuttle that sugar into your cells, which can cause that sleepy, sluggish feeling. There is a simple, powerful deposit to counteract this: the post-meal stroll. A short 10-minute walk after lunch is one of the most effective ways to stabilize your blood sugar. The gentle movement of your muscles helps use that sugar as immediate fuel, requiring less of an insulin response. This smooths out your energy curve. It doesn't need to be a power walk. It's a gentle meander around your garden or even your living room. The goal is simply to move your body gently. This small habit can be a game changer for preventing that post-lunch dip. Let's look at how we structure our afternoon tasks. A common withdrawal is trying to work in long, unbroken stretches. We think powering through is most productive. In reality, our brains are not designed for sustained high-focus work. They operate in cycles of high activity followed by a need for rest. When we ignore these natural cycles, we rapidly deplete the brain chemicals responsible for focus. This leads to mental fatigue, which feels exactly like physical fatigue. The deposit that works with your brain's natural rhythm is the 50-10 rule. Work with focused attention for about 50 minutes, and then take a genuine 10-minute break. During that break, you must step away from your screen. This scheduled rest allows your brain to recharge. Paradoxically, taking more breaks often leads to getting more done with far less energy spent. But what kind of break are you taking?
This is crucial. The wrong kind of break can be a withdrawal in itself. The most common fake rest is scrolling through your phone. While it feels like a break from work, it's not a break for your brain. It's a high-stimulation activity, bombarding your mind with new information and emotional triggers. It's like stepping out of a noisy office and into an even noisier arcade. You haven't truly rested. The true energy deposit is the strategic pause. This is a break that actually lowers stimulation. What does it look like? It could be standing up and stretching. It could be looking out a window and letting your eyes focus on something in the distance. Or it could be as simple as sitting quietly and taking 5 deep, slow breaths. The goal is to give your brain a moment of quiet, a chance to clear the clutter. This intentional rest is profoundly restorative. Now, what about the energy drains that are harder to see, the ones operating quietly in the background all day long? We now move into the next phase of our audit, the silent withdrawals. These are the subtle, often unnoticed drains on our energy that add up to a significant deficit. They are like small leaks in a bucket. Let's start with the physical ones. The first is poor posture. Are you slumped forward right now? When you sit or stand this way, your body works harder than it needs to. It compresses your lungs, meaning less oxygen and less energy production. It also puts a constant strain on the muscles in your neck and back. The deposit to counter this is conscious posture. Imagine a string attached to the top of your head, gently pulling you upward. Feel your spine lengthen. Checking in with your posture a few times an hour can save a surprising amount of physical energy. Are you making your body work harder than it needs to, just to sit in a chair? Another silent physical withdrawal is background noise. Many of us live or work with a constant low-level hum of sound. Even if you're not actively listening, your brain is processing it. It has to expend a small but constant amount of energy to filter it out. Over the course of a day, this effort adds up. Your brain is paying a hidden tax on its resources. The energy deposit here is to consciously create pockets of silence. Try turning off the TV or radio for an hour. Notice the change. Embracing silence isn't about deprivation. It's about giving your brain a chance to lower its workload and recharge. Notice what sounds are in your environment and ask, does this sound serve me right now? Often, the answer is no. The final physical silent withdrawal we'll audit is screen strain. We spend so much time looking at screens. These devices emit a bright light that can be harsh on our eyes. When our eyes are strained, our brain feels strained. We squint, we tense the muscles in our face, and we burn through mental energy. The deposit here is to be kind to your eyes. First, check your device settings. Can you lower the brightness? Can you increase the font size? There is a simple practice called the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look away from your screen at something at least 20 feet away for at least 20 seconds. This allows your eye muscles to relax. It's a micro break that can significantly reduce the fatigue from screen time. But what about the drains happening entirely inside our own minds? These can be the biggest of all. Let's now turn our audit inward to the mental silent withdrawals. The first one is clutter. Look at your immediate environment. Is it covered in papers and miscellaneous items? Visual chaos in your space creates mental chaos in your mind. Your brain has to process all of that visual noise, which uses up your attention and energy. The energy deposit that counters this is creating a clear workspace. Apply the one thing rule. Whatever you are working on, clear your desk of everything except the tools you need for that one task. When you're finished, put those things away and take out the tools for the next task. Creating this visual calm gives your brain a sense of order and focus. A second, massive mental withdrawal is the nagging to-do list that lives in your head. Our brains have a tendency to remember unfinished tasks better than finished ones. That's why you can't stop thinking about that phone call you need to make. Your brain is expending precious energy to keep these open loops active. The single most powerful deposit to counter this is the brain dump. Take that piece of paper and, for 5 minutes, write down every single thing you need to do that is floating around in your head. Get it out of your mind and onto the paper. The moment you write it down, you give your brain permission to let it go. You've told your mind, I won't forget this. It's captured here. This simple act can free up an astonishing amount of mental bandwidth. The third mental withdrawal is decision fatigue. Throughout the day, we make an endless stream of small decisions. What should I wear? Which email should I answer first? Each choice, no matter how small, consumes a finite amount of mental energy. Your capacity for making good decisions is like a muscle. It gets tired with overuse. By the afternoon, that muscle is exhausted. This is why we are more likely to make poor choices when we're tired. The energy deposit here is to reduce the number of decisions you have to make through the power of routine. Make some decisions ahead of time. Plan your meals for the week. Lay out your clothes the night before. By putting the small parts of your life on autopilot, you preserve your decision-making energy for the choices that truly matter. Now, we must look at the deepest drains of all. These are the emotional silent withdrawals, the feelings that simmer beneath the surface, quietly draining our vitality. One of the largest is unresolved conflict. A lingering disagreement with a family member or a frustration with a neighbor keeps your body in a state of low-grade stress. You're constantly burning emotional and physical energy to contain those feelings. The energy deposit for this is the address or accept framework. Look at the issue. You can either make a plan to address it, or you can make a conscious decision to accept the situation and let it go. Indecision is what drains the most energy. Making a clear choice closes the loop and stops the drain. Another profound emotional withdrawal is feeling unappreciated or lacking a sense of purpose. When your daily activities feel meaningless, it's incredibly draining. Energy is often a byproduct of engagement. We can have endless energy for a hobby we love, but feel exhausted just thinking about a task we find pointless. The energy deposit here is twofold. First is self-acknowledgement. At the end of a task, take 30 seconds to acknowledge your own effort. Say to yourself, "I worked hard on that." Second, connect your tasks to a larger value. Instead of, "I have to clean the kitchen," reframe it as, "I am creating a calm home for my family." This shifts the feeling from a chore to an act of love, which can be energizing. But what about the inner voice that says nothing is ever good enough? That voice is perfectionism, and it is a recipe for exhaustion. It forces you to spend hours on a task that could have been done in 30 minutes. It makes you hesitate to start new things for fear of not doing them perfectly. The energy deposit that frees you from this trap is embracing the good enough principle. For most tasks in life, good enough is truly sufficient. Aim for completion, not perfection. Finish the letter. Make the phone call. By declaring something good enough and moving on, you reclaim the vast amounts of energy that would have been wasted in agonizing over tiny details. We have now completed our audit. Take a moment to look at your piece of paper. You should have a list of your personal withdrawals and potential deposits. It might seem like a lot. You might feel you have to change everything at once. But that is not the goal. The goal is not perfection, it's progress. The key to making sustainable progress is to focus your efforts where they will have the greatest impact. This brings us to the most important part of our process, creating your simple, actionable plan using the 80-20 principle. This principle suggests that 80% of results come from just 20% of the effort. Applied to our energy, it means about 80% of your energy drain is likely coming from just a few key habits. Our task now is to find those habits.
Look at your list of withdrawals. Read through them. As you do, ask yourself, which of these feels the heaviest? Which happens almost every day? Which one, if I could change it, would make the biggest difference? You are looking for your one or two biggest energy leaks. For one person, it might be skipping a proper lunch. For another, it might be the mental drain of a cluttered desk. Circle your biggest leak. That is your starting point. For 1 week, just focus on plugging that single leak. If your issue is lunch, commit to a power trio lunch every day. If it's the morning phone habit, commit to 15 minutes of quiet instead. By focusing on one key habit, you make the change manageable. Once you have identified the biggest leak to plug, the second step is to add one easy deposit. Look at your list of potential deposits. Ask yourself, which of these seems the easiest and most appealing? Don't pick the hardest one. Pick the simplest. Maybe it's drinking that glass of water first thing. Maybe it's the 10-minute post-meal stroll. Choose a habit that feels less like a chore and more like a gift to yourself. This is your easy win. It builds momentum. So your plan is incredibly simple. Plug one big leak and add one easy deposit. That's it. This is not about a radical overhaul. It is about making small, strategic shifts that yield the largest returns in energy. This is the core of wisdom, applying your effort where it matters most. Now, as we think about this plan, some valid questions may arise. A common thought is, but I have a medical condition that causes fatigue. This is a crucial point. This audit is not a replacement for medical advice. If you have an underlying health issue, that is your primary focus. However, you can think of this audit as a tool to use alongside your medical care. It's about managing the energy you do have as effectively as possible. It's about controlling the controllables so you have more resilience to handle the things you cannot. Another common sentiment is, but isn't deep fatigue just a part of getting older? It is true that our baseline energy levels can change. But there is a significant difference between a gentle shift in capacity and feeling completely wiped out every single afternoon. That profound slump is very often not a mandatory part of aging. It is a sign of mismanaged energy. The principles of stabilizing blood sugar, getting morning light, and managing stress become even more important as we get older. By implementing these strategies, you are making the absolute most of the vitality you have. What if you have mobility issues? The idea of a post-meal stroll might not seem feasible. Remember the principle behind the action: a little gentle movement and a change of scenery. If walking is difficult, what could you do instead? Could you do gentle seated stretches? Could you simply move to a different room and sit by a window? Adapt the action, but keep the principle. These are not rigid rules. They are flexible guidelines. You are the expert on your own life. This audit is simply a framework to help you apply that expertise. We have come on a journey together this past hour. We started with the metaphor of an energy bank account. We conducted a detailed audit of our mornings, our middays, and the silent withdrawals that go unnoticed. Most importantly, we've created a simple, personalized plan to begin plugging the biggest leaks and making the easiest deposits. The power of this process lies in its ability to return a sense of control. Fatigue can make us feel helpless, but as you've seen, so much of our daily energy is a direct result of the small choices we make. You are the manager of your energy account. The goal isn't to become a perfect, hyper-productive machine. It's about having the energy to be the person you want to be. It's about having enough vitality at the end of the day to read a story to a grandchild, to work in your garden, or to have a meaningful conversation with your partner. That is what we are reclaiming. If this audit gave you even one new idea, give this video a like. It tells YouTube that this wisdom is valuable and helps it reach others who need it. And if you believe that life should get wiser, not just older, be sure you're subscribed with the notification bell turned on. We share actionable wisdom like this every week. Your action step is clear. Look at your plan. The one leak you will plug and the one deposit you will make. Start tomorrow. Don't wait for the perfect Monday. Start with the very next opportunity. Be curious and be patient with yourself. The goal isn't the chaotic energy of youth. It's the sustained, purposeful energy to fully enjoy the wisdom of your years. You have more power over your energy than you think.